Hello and welcome to a special episode of The Australian Runner, a show about running and everything running related. I'm Ben, and with me is Chris.
Hello.
This special episode is a recap and our thoughts on the first night of the Nitro Athletics series.
Yeah.
So last night in Melbourne was the premiere of the Nitro Athletics series,
Yep.
Bolt's big new athletics venture. So we're just going to talk about our favourite events, our favourite performance, and some interesting moments that we noticed during the night.
Yeah.
So Chris, what was your favourite event?
I think my favourite event of the night was the Elimination Mile. It was a completely new event for athletics whereby the last competitor across the line after each lap would be eliminated. And the events panned out where it was literally 200 metre easy, 200 metre hard, make sure a sprint finish to kick for the line, and then it would slow back down again. So it was surging the whole way. And the first two laps especially, it seemed like anyone could be eliminated. It was quite close. Everyone was within a couple of metres of each other.
Yeah, and got some real emphasis on your positioning as you're coming up to the line, because you didn't want to get boxed in by anyone else.
Yeah.
Because that would mean you'd get stuck at the back and get eliminated right away.
Yeah, there was a lot more tactics involved, if anything.
Yeah, and it was interesting to see how nobody really knew how to run it, especially for the first two laps. Because like, should we go hard now? Should we take it easy and sprint for the line? But then after a couple of laps, you could see some of the weaker competitors getting really tired because of that real sprint to the line and trying not to be last.
Yeah, those surges really killed some of the athletes, and the fitter athletes definitely rose to the top.
Yeah. My favourite event was the 3-minute challenge. Is that what they're calling it? 3-minute challenge?
Yeah.
Once again, because it was as far as you could go in 3 minutes, it really got rid of most of the tactics that you'd see in like a 1 kilometre or 1500 metre race where people would ease off and then try and sprint, like we saw at Rio in the, was it the 3K?
1500 metres,
in
yeah.
the 1500, yeah, where that was one of the slowest 1500s in like 50 odd years or something like that.
Yeah.
So obviously Jen Lacars and Luke Matthews won the women's and the men's.
Yeah, they went with interesting tactics as well. It was a sit and kick affair for Jen, just to put Luke in front, to put him in a strong position. And then he really cruised for the first, I'd say, 2 minutes of it. Let other people do, or catch up to him, spend that extra effort, then he kicked home hard.
Yeah, so it's definitely, both of these events obviously are not your regular events. They're new last night. So I think those two are our favourites, so that really says something about some of the events that they've chosen.
Yeah.
But we'll give more of our thoughts on the whole series in general after the last night.
Yeah, we'll let all three meetings take place before we...
Yeah. So who was your favourite performer of the night?
I'll stick to Australian runners, and I think my favourite athlete was Luke Stevens last night. There's a lot of big names in the Australian team, a lot of Rio Olympians and elite athletes who've been at the top of their game for years. But Luke Stevens is a young gun out of Western Athletics. He was in two events, the two relays. He was in the medley relay, and then he was in the 2x300 metre relay. And I thought his performances were excellent. In his 300 metre leg, he ran away from an American bloke and just showed how strong he really was. And he did the same in his 400 metre leg of the medley relay. Showed he's in good form at the moment. Did better than I thought he would, and he really surprised me. What about you? Did you have a favourite athlete or performance?
Yeah, my favourite performance of the night, I think, was Asafa Powell in that 60 metre.
Dominated.
Yeah, he managed to win that by probably 1.5 metres. Clearly out in front.
Yeah. And
he ran it in 6.66 seconds or something like that. So to really get yourself with a rather significant lead in that short of a time is really something special.
Yeah.
He was so fast out of the blocks and just pulled away as the race went on.
Yeah, gapped the field, did really well there.
And then lastly, what was your favourite interesting moment?
Let's just go talk about the athletes a lot more here. And I thought Luke Matthews' celebration, the Salt Bay after the 3-minute effort or 3-minute run, was interesting, and I found it quite funny. It was good that he was taking it off relevant memes, and I thought it was just like you could see how the crowd would like that, and I thought that was just kept the crowd entertained, and that's what the Nitro series is all about: entertainment first.
Yeah.
So that's in that theme. I thought, yeah, it kind of stole the show a little bit.
And obviously, Jen LeCar's running from one side of the track to the other to cheer him on as they're going down both straights.
It was just about a 6-minute effort for her.
My favourite interesting moment was actually in the elimination mile, where in the men's one, where Jamie Webb from England, he was up against Risley and Ramsden, and he knew he was dead basically with 1 lap to go, and so he basically just gave up. It was really weird. I hadn't really seen anything like that happen before. He probably gave him 150 metres before he crossed the line behind him.
Yeah, it was like 35 odd seconds just over that last lap as well, because he wasn't that far behind going through 400 to go, was he?
Yeah, it was just all the kicks to get across the line and not get eliminated really stuffed him up.
Yeah, once he knew he was going to be third spot, he's like, yep, I'll just jog around now.
Yeah.
No point. So yeah, I thought there were a lot of highlights, but I do think that they were right up there as interesting, a bit different from the normal athletics. That's why I think we chose those, because do you ever see that in normal athletics, mate?
You never do.
No.
That's a good thing about this Nitro series after the first night, and I can't wait for the next 2 nights.
Nah, looking forward to it. We will be doing a recap after each of them, so stay tuned for Friday for Thursday's meet, and next Sunday we'll do another short little podcast, just a recap, and I think next Sunday we'll do the thoughts on the whole
the whole thing in general as well. See how it's gone as a more broad overview rather than just the specific night's events.
Yeah, and what the media's said, and
Yeah.
just the general consensus over it.
So that's it for this podcast. Because we're doing these 3 podcasts over the course of this week, we're not going to do our usual podcast. So stay tuned for the following week, and we'll get back into the regular podcasting schedule.
Sounds good.
So thank you everyone for listening, and as always you can find us on iTunes, YouTube and SoundCloud as The Australian Runner, and check us out on Facebook and Instagram too. See you next time.
See you then.